All right, so this is our third project management video on quality management. And so far we've talked about some of the individuals that were important in developing the idea of quality management and how do we go about defining quality and measuring quality. And that brings us to the overall plan quality management. How do we manage and plan for quality within a project? And so the management of plan quality is going to include what is our quality policy, what are the exact contents of our quality management plan, what is the quality baseline, and what is the process improvement plan. So we'll look at these items a little bit more closely. So the quality policy should be a concise statement. This is usually something developed by the top management of an organization. And it's a statement that is used as a guide to quality, what the focus should be for the organization. Oftentimes, this makes reference to who the customers are and perhaps what their needs are. It talks perhaps about processes used within the organization and how there should be a constant goal to improve those processes, satisfying requirements, whether those requirements are internal or external to the organization. It should probably make reference to what the products or services are that are delivered by the organization. Usually the quality goes hand in hand with value and cost control. Cost control, of course, plays into value. So value is really a balance between cost and benefit, quality being on the benefit side, and then the cost being the resources that have to go into creating that quality deliverable. A quality management plan is a document that is going to outline several things related to quality within a project. So it will include the overall quality objectives, the key deliverables, and the standards that are used to evaluate each of them, standards for completeness and correctness, usually from the customer's point of view, quality control activities, things that can be done to throughout the entire process to assure that the final deliverable will be of high quality. The activities that will be done in order to assure quality deliverables. Tools that can be used. Again, all of this is with respect to a high quality deliverable. The roles and responsibilities of people within the project team as it relates to the quality deliverable, and a reporting plan for documenting the processes to assure, again, a high quality final deliverable. A baseline essentially is an agreed upon objective. So it is what everybody agrees to. This is oftentimes part of the project charter in terms of what this project is going to deliver and what quality standards does it need to meet. It needs to describe the metrics that will be used to measure the quality, and they're things that everybody, all the stakeholders, can agree upon. What is going to be measured, how is it going to be measured, and what is it that you're looking for? What's the target value? so that the customer understands what it is they're going to be receiving, and likewise the project team can understand what is their responsibility to deliver. A process improvement plan essentially just looks at all of the processes that go into a project, and how they can be analyzed in such a way that they can be improved. So looking at how things are done, how you can measure data, analyze that data, and then use that data to make improvements. Quality assurance is basically a checkup, an audit, if you will, of a process, of a plan or project, and it essentially makes recommendations. So it's like a study of how things are done, and will make some recommendations on how they can be improved. Specifically, preventative actions, things that can be done to make sure that future performance is meeting the agreed upon criteria. Corrective actions are intended to correct or fix or bring certain performances up to the standards that they should be at. And defect repair, which is whether or not something should be repaired or just simply abandoned. Benchmarking is a way that an organization that perhaps is not performing as well as they would like can effectively study another organization and perhaps learn some lessons from them. And so this is a structured way of going about this. And so the steps involved include, first of all, determining your process that needs to be improved, identifying another organization that performs that particular process very well, and then reaching out to them and perhaps striking a deal with them to observe them and learn some lessons from them. So you then need to determine specifically what you would like to observe and make a site visit, observe it, ask questions, just essentially learn how they do things. Decide then, based on your observations, which of their methods you think would help your organization, adapting those to fit your culture, because the way that your competitor or another organization does things may not exactly fit with your organization. So some adaptation or modification might be needed. Try out the new methods on a small scale and evaluate the results. If it doesn't work out for you, then that's just a lesson learned. But if it does result in good results, then you can adopt these methods and perhaps employ them on a larger scale. Controlling quality is it's a way to verify that the deliverables are complete, correct, and acceptable. So you want to make sure that you're doing things well every time, that all of your deliverables are meeting the success criteria that you've established. You want to, of course, reduce defects or inefficiencies within the process. So it involves testing whether specific deliverables meet their quality standards, and may include inspecting inputs, activities, um, and all the various steps that go into the resulting deliverable, and looking at the quality of each of them. And so when you identify an area of your organization that can be improved, you have to, of course, keep in mind the cost. Now, oftentimes, um, it may require more upfront cost initially, but in the long run, making that investment in quality will pay for itself down the road. It really depends on the situation. And so, so some organizations may be a bit reluctant to spend that money up front to invest in quality because of that upfront cost. But in the long run, it more often than not, I would probably say, does pay for itself. So some of these costs involve planning, training, perhaps new equipment, testing processes, um, just taking the time to do audits and checking, testing, um, doing regular maintenance, and so these things take time. They cost money. So there might be some reluctance to do that. But if you do test things regularly and go to the trouble of doing the training and the planning, then you're going to avoid the cost down the road of having to scrap certain deliverables because they don't meet their quality requirements. You're going to save yourself having to go back and redo work or repair faulty deliverables. That type of repair work requires additional materials. Um, it's going to cost you money to issue repairs for warranty work. You're going to have to deal with unhappy customers and their complaints. You might even face a liability in a lawsuit. You might have to issue a recall. So there's lots of costs to associated with poor quality work. And so a little bit of effort up front will save you money on the back end.